Hare Krishna. Question: how can worshipping a cow get a person a job? Sometimes religious teachers say that if you want to get a job, you should worship a cow. So, how is the cow going to give a job to a person? Answer: here, firstly, in the Vedic scriptures, the cow is to be respected. The cow itself is served by in various ways, primarily by protecting and caring. And a part of the respect may also be to worship. So when we worship a cow, why do we worship a cow? It is because a cow is dear to God. Krishna, who is a manifestation of God, he is known as Gopal. He loves cows. Now God is a person, and as a person he has his choices. So he loves cows. So normally when we approach a person, if we do something that pleases that person likes, then we can go closer to that person. So Krishna loves cows, and when we offer proper regard to cows, then by that we show our regard to Krishna. Now in today's culture, people may not consider cows of any attractive value, but today people have pets of dogs. Now if if we go to meet some big person, and if we just kick the dog of that person while going towards meeting that person will be angry. But if we pat the dog and are affectionate to the dog, that person will be pleased. So the point is that if we want to please someone, we actually have to worship. We actually naturally please those, or serve those, or are kind and gentle and respectful to those whom that person loves. So that is the principle behind the regard for cows that is there in the Vedic culture. So cows are dear to Krishna, and moreover, from our point of view also, cows are like mothers. They give us milk, which nourishes us in our infancy and even throughout our life, if we take it. So the point is that cows are, and that's why they have a special regard for their motherly benediction, the motherly gifts that they give to us, and for the special place that they hold in Krishna's heart. Now the idea that to get a job one should worship a cow, that is not a scriptural idea. We worship a cow so that we can actually become closer to Krishna, please Krishna, and get more bhakti to him. So we don't worship a cow so that we can get a job. But there is a principle which we can broadly discuss. We may do different rituals which are meant to give certain results. So the principle here is to recognize that the primary purpose of those rituals is not so much to give the results, but it is to help us go closer to God. And when those results are good for us, those results will come to us. So it is not so much just by worshipping a cow, but by expressing our devotion to God. Now we should be able to see the interconnectedness of things. When we see a particular ritual being performed for a particular purpose, we may see, okay, I am doing this ritual, how will that give that result? So there is a subtle interconnectedness of things. Just like if a tribal comes to, say, a metropolitan city, and then the tribal is going with somebody, an escort takes him to a shop, and there he purchases something, and then this person just takes out a credit card and puts it in the machine, and he gets that money and gets the object. He says, hey, what? You just put this paper, put this card inside and took it out. How did they give it? How did they give this to you? He says there is a connection. That connection the tribal may not be able to perceive. That through the credit card is connected with the banking system, and the banking system will transfer the money to the account of the shop where we are going. So there can be subtle connections which we can't perceive. And just because we can't perceive certain subtle connections doesn't mean that those connections don't exist, and it doesn't mean that we should actually make a caricature of those connections. We should recognize that there can be much that exists in the universe which we do not perceive. So I'm not using this to say that any and every ritual that people imagine for getting a particular result, that all such rituals are right. I'm simply making the point that there are subtle connections within even human systems which an uninformed person can't perceive. So similarly, there are subtle connections between in the arrangements which God has made, in the various rituals that are there in religion, and which blessings that are promised, and we of course have to be careful whether particular rituals are actually going to provide particular things or not, and discerningly do the rituals. And remember that the essential purpose of the rituals is not to just get the thing done, but rather to come closer to God. Thank you. Hare Krishna.